Now, for a brief description of the grammar itself, Ashtadhyayi is written as an ordered list of brief sutras. Sutra means thread, and the meaning is that the threads themselves carry no meaning. It's only by weaving the threads together that you get the cloth of the grammar, except instead of material, the cloth is words, and the grammar itself, the language itself, emerges. So the grammar involves quite a lot of complexity in the structure, so much so that virtually all of the major rules of computational science are said to be present in the structure of the grammar. So the first portion of the grammar that we will be studying is the grammar that are the sutras that are for the operation of the grammar. Now, we will take sutras one at a time. I will say the sutras once, and then we should both say them 2 more times. Ideally, I advocate that you try to write them from hearing them first. This is only for you to see. You give it a try, and of course you can go back. I will also supply, as we go along, the written sutras that we're discussing. We'll see what way works best, but we're only going to do 1 or 2 at a time. So my idea is to have brief but frequent conversations on this as we move along. Some of the rules that Prabhakara Shastri established for me, one of them is that as we practice the sutras, that means getting them by heart, we should always do that out loud. He was very explicit, and I've certainly internalized this, that we repeat the sutras out loud. So as an example, the alphabet, which we are now going to next study, we would say A-I-Un, Ralak, Eong, Ayouch, Hayavarat, Lad, Nyamagananam, Jabhangi, Gadadash, Jabagadash, Kapachatata Chatatav, Shashasar Hal. Not a race. Over time, it sort of picked up speed. So we want to first examine each sutra, then we will take it apart and see what it's trying to say. Then we will interpret it. Down the line, we will also learn and see how it interacts with other sutras, because this is truly a living organism. It is a generative machine that exists within our own mind. So, of course, everybody is free to make of it whatever you want, but that's a good place to start, is to try to get them by heart. Just the sounds, A-I-Un will be the first one we do, and then sit with that, and as we go along, continue to refresh your memory. Shastri encouraged me to have several notebooks, including a little flip book that I could carry with me just to remember the sounds of the sutras. Now, you will get a lot just from playing along, with what we're doing, but it's worth at least trying to get these by heart, especially the initial ones, which will give the mechanisms of the grammar. After that, in a way, what we're adding is data that we will feed into those mechanisms to generate all different kinds of forms. Now, that's the good news. The other thing is the grammar is roughly 4,000 sutras long. Well, that's quite a lot, and quite a lot to get by heart. And the other thing that makes the emergence of Siddhartha comedy and so on more understandable is that you really can't generate any forms, hardly any forms, without knowing all the sutras. That's not going to be true for us, so don't despair. We will be able to explore in depth different categories of the grammar once we have learned the basics, including sandhi and karaka, the use of cases, all of which are way, way, way more interesting than anything you might imagine in the, run-of-the-mill grammar. It really brings the language to life and the world of the Sanskrit world to life in very vivid ways. So, with all that, the next conversation we have will be the beginning, not of the grammar itself, technically, not of Ashtadhyayi, and not the sutra with which I first fell in love. Because, and this is just my image, in a way, the heart and soul of Ashtadhyayi lives outside it. It lives in this supernaturally profound arrangement of the alphabet, which goes by many names. It's actually so remarkable that it is considered to have mystical properties and is often referred to as the Shiva Sutra. 14. We will call them the Akshara Samamnaya, basically the alphabet of the grammar. So we will begin with that next time with the letter A. Thank you. Take care.